Hi, my name is Sherry Farmer, and today we will be discussing Aristotle's rhetoric. Rhetoric is the well-studied sum of all of the means of persuasion, thoughtfully and carefully omitting law, torture, and war, and the body of thought regarding the use of human symbolism, yet to this day there seems to be a negative connotation. According to Aristotle, persuasion can be inartistic. These are things like when the speaker does not provide physical evidence, and artistic when the speaker creates proofs using logic, ethics, and emotion, otherwise known as logos, ethos, and pathos, to persuade the reader or listener. In summary, logical proof comes from the line of argument of the speech. Ethical proof is the way that the speaker's character is revealed through the message. And emotional proof is the feeling that the speech draws out of the listeners. In logic, it must be stressed that the speaker must accomplish these effects by what he says. It is not necessarily that he is actually virtuous. On the contrary, a pre-existing good character cannot be part of the technical means of persuasion. According to ethics, it is not enough for a speaker to claim plausibility in an argument. He insists that ethos is just as critical. It is important for the speaker to have credibility, or at least to convey credibility, or to seem credible to his audience, his or her audience. The perception of the audience is built by three crucial pillars of credibility. These are intelligence, character, and goodwill of the speaker. Aristotle believed that a speaker could exude and uphold a virtuous character and have or present exemplary intelligence, but still not have a good motive. Pathos, he insisted, that emotional appeals were imperative in civic persuasion, reason, and decision-making. Our judgments when we are happy, pleasured, content, and safe are not the same as when we are let down, angry, hurt, or betrayed. To organize this principle, Aristotle cataloged a list of opposite moods and emotions that would nudge a listening audience into what he deemed submission. These are anger versus mildness, love or friendship versus hatred, fear versus confidence, indignation versus pity, and admiration versus envy. Anger versus mildness, simply put, if you point blame, you are likely to get barked back at with distaste. However, if you were to show sympathy or empathy, then someone is likely to calm down or be mild-mannered. Love or friendship versus hatred. This is the most important one to me and the most scary. The key to mutual warmth, according to Aristotle, is common goals and desires. However, in the event that no common ground can be laid, it is just as effective to paint a common enemy. So if people come from two completely different walks of life and they don't have anything in common and you don't feel like you can connect with this person or persuade this person, it's just as effective, according to Aristotle, to paint a common enemy. So to find a person that each of you detest, then that is your common ground. Terrifying. Indignation versus pity. This is a sewn-in checks and balances of sorts. It's easy to arouse a sense of injustice by describing arbitrary use of power to those who are helpless. Admiration versus envy. This is to occur if the audience believes that the speaker has attained all the riches of life through hard work and effort, rather than pure happenstance, luck, or lottery. Scholars have been able to agree on 4 standards of measuring quality. These are the 5 canyons of rhetoric. The first is the construction of an argument, ordering of material, selection of language, technique of delivery, and the latest addition is memory. Invention. Cornell University literature professor says that in these special regions, the orator hunts for arguments and the hunter hunts for game. That's pretty powerful. The second, arrangement. Aristotle disagreed entirely and detested the very idea of 3-point outlines or delayed reveal. He says that in a speech or any kind of persuasive argument, there should be 2 parts, a beginning and an end. Basically, the introduction is introducing yourself, establishing credibility. You close in the end, and basically you remind people of what you said and you make them feel good. Style, the third canyon, has to do with metaphor. Metaphor is beautiful to me. He said that metaphor especially has clarity, sweetness, and strangeness. To me, metaphors are the bridge to understanding, the stitch that weaves even the most unfamiliar strangers to a place of knowing. If you don't know somebody and you don't even speak their language, a metaphor can be given that you both understand, and all of a sudden there's this very beautiful, created language between the two of you that brings you to a place of knowing and understanding, and that's such a powerful thing. Delivery, the fourth canyon, this has to do with authenticity and sincerity. They're imperative. Lastly, memory is just being able to readily recall information. In the modern age, we consider memory to be the same as rehearsal, and unfortunately, true memory seems to be a lost art. So Aristotle's rhetoric consists of two extremes and a golden mean. On one side is risk-taking behaviors such as lies, secrecy, cowardice. On the other side is truth-telling behaviors such as being brutally honest to the point of fault, soul-bearing, vulnerability, and recklessness. And right in the middle lies the golden mean. These are things like telling truthful statements, being transparent, and being courageous. Aristotle argues that inward disposition means more than outward behavior. His rhetoric is the first known complete systematic law on analysis and adaptation. Rhetoric is comprised of, like we spoke about before, the proof, the canyons, and the golden mean. And despite the shortcomings and perplexities of his work, it remains a foundational text of our discipline, a starting point for social scientists and rhetoricians alike. Thank you.